I just had a 2-hour conversation with Tomer Applebaum. We do these roundtables several times a month, and we've really been taking a deep dive into the Me Too conversation. It was, I always learn something. I always do. And, um, and that's why I like to have conversations about this. I'm also teaching a workshop right now. It's mixed gender, and we're taking a deep dive into Me Too. And I'm great now, and it's called How to Say Your No. And I think it has a lot of applications, but I'm really seeing how it comes in handy for this Me Too moment. So let me explain a little bit more. I know I've gone live a couple times mentioning this book. I think that one of the things that's really lacking is a way to say no to unwanted touch and unwanted comments, frankly, without ruining the connection. So I'm not talking about intercepting a rape here. Talking about what do you do if you're out on a date and you like somebody and you're hoping for another date, but their behavior is making you uncomfortable. And I mean, that area for me is really fraught if you want to keep the connection. A lot of women that I work with have acquiesced their boundaries and just went ahead and allowed certain physical, sexual things to happen, even though that's not what they wanted, because they wanted somebody to like them, or they wanted to have another date, or they didn't want to have conflict. So here's the first thing. This is a 5-step process. I'm just going to give you a summary of it. You really are going to have to read about it and maybe even work with me to fully understand how this works. But let's say somebody is touching you in a way that is kind of creeping you out, but you still want to be their friend. Let's just take a situation like that. How would you say that to them? Some of us might just kind of pull away and then change the topic. And so then we got this kind of funky energy between us that isn't quite working. If you say that you appreciate the fact that they want to connect with you, so that first step is a way of validating them and really helping them feel human as opposed to feeling like they've done something wrong. And the next step of that really is to appreciate the fact that they want to have connection with them. So we validate somebody just to be human. It's like it's so human to want to have touch and connection. And we appreciate the fact that they're actually wanting to connect with us. That next step, right after the validation and appreciation, is a no. And it's a solid no. It's not a negotiated no. It's not a maybe some other day kind of no. It's not a compromise no. It's just no. And it's a powerful no. And it feels so good to have a powerful no. It really does. But it's scary too. And it's scary for everybody. The person who's getting the powerful no is also going to feel a little bit jarred and frightened. What comes next, right? Because most of us are so used to being shamed and blamed. And we're looking for that shame and that blame to go one way or the other. It's going to come back on me, or I'm going to put it on you. So to step out of that, we validate, appreciate, give a firm no, and then a redirect. And what is that redirect? That is where I am actually suggesting something else. I have a great idea. Rather than holding hands, could we just face each other, give each other a lot of eye contact and talk? Or it's not feeling real comfortable to me right now to be kissing, but I would love to cuddle. You see, that's the general idea of this. We are going in this direction of navigating the relationship into terrain that is hopefully mutually pleasing. Now, let's say the other person doesn't like our idea. That's the 5th step, and that is where we want to actually sit down and have conversations about what's going on for both of us, and what are our true desires? What's motivating us in this moment? And we're talking about up in the ante there, creating more intimacy. That's what this whole 5-step process is about. More intimacy, less boundary violation, clear boundaries, great assertion skills, but much more heart connection. So anyway, that's enough time for this live video. I'm going to sign off for now, and thank you so much for stopping by and watching this. I am still learning how all this technology works. And